friends, welcome back to Crazy Brave Homeschool. My name is Ashley if you're new here, and this is my homeschool channel where I talk all about homeschooling my third grader and kindergartner. Now for those of you who are familiar with my channel and me, you may notice I'm talking kind of funny. I had oral surgery this week and I should be recovering and not making a YouTube video, but I'm bored and my kids are gone all day today, which is great for recovery. But it's been over a week since I have given you guys a video, and I am also not very good at recovering, which is why I'm probably a little extra swollen today. I'm on day 3, and yesterday I think I maybe just went a little hard. But anyway, I figured if I'm in bed, I might as well use this opportunity to chat with you guys and let you know what we have planned for term 2 of our homeschool. We are wrapping up term 1, let's see, in 2 weeks. Now, I'm not going to use this video to talk at all about what we've done during term 1. I'm going to give you guys a term 1 update at the end of the month. I'm really excited to fill you in on how that first term has gone. It's been a really, really good. I think this might be our best homeschool year yet, and I can't wait to tell you more about why. And then I'm also not going to talk so much about what we are continuing from term 1 into term 2, because I'm going to hit most of that stuff when I give you that term 1 update. This video is just going to be about what's coming up next term. I feel like I've said the word term about 400 times. Okay guys, so we're going to be hitting changes and updates in all subjects, even though there's definitely a lot of core elements to this year's homeschool that are staying the same across all 3 terms. I want to share with you guys some new books that we'll be reading next term, what we are doing in the next phase of our botany unit, what we are doing for history, and some of this stuff will be repeat. I'm gonna try my best to not make this a really wordy video. How our morning basket is going to be changing up, and then a new program that I am trying out with my son's phonics, and a pivot in math. So let's get started. Lots of things to chat about. The first thing I'll mention, I think, is science and history. So I've talked a lot about history for this year and how it's just been on a ride. It's been tough for us to nail down something that I feel really confident about, but I definitely found it, I think. We're gonna try out Alvieri History Year 3 for my daughter. So this will just be my daughter. I won't be including my kindergartner with this. This is our first time trying out anything from Alvieri. And I really just feel so excited about this because I think that it's a perfect blend of Charlotte Mason methodology with more modern books and more of a multicultural lens on history. This includes, so this is mostly US, well, it's all US history for year 3, but it also includes a lot of Native American history as well, which I really appreciate. This will accompany about 5 living books, and will definitely take us throughout the year and into the summer, since we are starting it late into our school year. Very excited about this history plan. For science, so as some of you who follow me may know, that we are studying botany this year, and I sectioned out our botany study in 3 different kind of units. Term 1 has been all about medicinal herbs, and we're using, I think it's called the Herb Book for Kids, and that's been going really, really well. It's been mostly nature study and examining what kind of medicinal herbs are growing around where we live. Now that we are actually going to be doing that, continuing into term 2 until we finish the book, but I think it's right around after Christmas break that I'm bringing in a 13-week unit from the Good and the Beautiful Botany. This will be more of a science unit. versus just like the kind of loose nature study that we've been doing. So there will just be more instruction with this, experiments, more of a lesson plan, right? But I'm excited to move into this. I'm not going off of any of the book recommendations with this unit. I have some books off my shelf that I would like to hit with this. And those are, as it relates to the subject matter, I may bring in some Arabella Buckley Plant Life. This is sort of written in the same kind of style as, say, like Burgess, or who is the other author I'm thinking of who wrote the Among the Pond, Among the Forest People. I'm forgetting her name, but it's kind of written in that style. Only what I like about Buckley's books is that it's not anthropomorphized. I don't know. I'm not saying that right. It doesn't have talking animals, which my daughter can't stand. So it is more of a scientific narrative, but it's written in a way that I think my daughter will connect with more. So we're going to try to bring this in, again, as it relates to the topics in The Good and the Beautiful. There is a unit on why leaves change color. And so I have a book for that I'll bring in. We have not gotten into this book yet, The Magic and Mystery of Trees, as we hit some of the tree units in that program. And then this is what I'm excited to do, a botany adventure for kids, Shanlea's Quest. So this is a lot of Native American kind of folklore around medicinal herbs. So those are the books I'm hoping to hit with Botany from The Good and the Beautiful. So I think from there I will hit this sort of mix up in our math plans. So up until now we have been using and doing just fine with Right Start. Right Start has been our staple math program for the last 3 years. I'm using level A with my son and level C with my daughter. However, the last several weeks that we have been getting deeper into subtraction, I really haven't loved the way that Right Start has been teaching it, and I feel like my daughter is not retaining a whole lot from the method that they're using. Like, even though her subtraction is fairly solid, this method is just not really working with Right Start. And then from there, we are moving into a big unit in geometry, and geometry is not my strong suit, and it's a subject my daughter has really not enjoyed either. So I've been worried about moving from a unit that didn't work out great for us into a unit that I know is really challenging, and we haven't hit a lot of multiplication yet this year. So I have been using once a week Simply Charlotte Mason grade 3 arithmetic. And we're not very far in this because we've only been using it once a week, but I am just loving how real life this math is, and how simple it is, because Right Start includes so many just really interesting manipulatives and techniques. But this dives so deep into subtraction, dealing with money, and multiplication, and then division, that these are really the topics that I want us to focus on this year, whereas Right Start this year is really all about geometry, fractions, measuring, time, and subtraction. So I've decided to set aside Right Start for a few months, and we will just move forward with this and just see how it goes. We may very well skip a large portion of Right Start level C if this is going well, and then pick up level D Right Start when we're feeling ready for it. So another math kind of switch up. We tried out wild math this year once a week on Fridays, and it was like really fun, and I was really loving it. And then it took like a hard stop. And I think it's because my son decided he didn't really like it anymore. My daughter still really does, but it's kind of hard to do something like that with her and not with him. And I have had this other resource that looks really fun. It's called Math in the Garden. This is not terribly easy to find. I think I did find mine on one of the thrift sites. It might have been Thrift Books. But it's not like super cheap. I can't remember exactly what I spent, but it's been out of print for a while. So it's not super cheap, but it's hands-on activities that bring math to life outside. So it's really similar to Wild Math, but there's a big difference between this and Wild Math. Wild Math has like a whole slew of activities that you can choose from that meet various math concepts, you know, for whatever grade level you're doing. But there's not a lot of like instruction within the math activities, and that's fine. Like, they're easy enough for me to understand and to implement. But the cool thing about Math in the Garden is that this feels a little bit more project based. The lessons are so well laid out and are so intentional with the way that they're written and meant to be executed. I'm just like feeling really connected to this. And it would also be something really fun to do with a group. And I'm considering bringing in some more friends in our community to do this with us on Fridays at our house. But if that doesn't work out, I still think that this would be a really fun thing to do on Fridays. Fridays is when we've been doing like enrichment math, and that's when we did Wild Math. So I'm thinking about trying out a few of these projects, and we'll see how it goes. And if it goes well, I'll definitely give you guys an update on how we're liking it. Okay, something I forgot to mention for our science coming up in term 2. We are doing a seed bank project that we already started. We just started it last week. So this is what it's gonna look like. It says 2526 seed bank. So I'll show you a close-up. I have tacked to the board little baggies, and then underneath I have written seed, location, and date. So the first collection of seeds that my kids did are these red poppy seeds that we were growing in our yard. And so they collected these seeds with my husband, and then my daughter wrote down the type of seed, where it was harvested, and the date it was harvested. It's my goal for us to fill up as many of these bags as we can throughout harvest season, which, you know, as you know, we're in right now. I'm hoping that by end of November, we will have collected all of our seeds. We are currently drying out probably 6 other different seed species. Most of those are from our vegetable garden, and then we're gonna have apple seeds to harvest, pumpkin seeds. We have some citrus growing. So I don't think we're gonna have any problem filling up all these little bags. And then it's kind of an awkward thing to store, but I wanted it to be displayed open like this so that the kids could see the difference between all of these different seeds. And it would, you know, having it like this gives them an opportunity to study the seeds a bit more than just putting all the seeds with labels into like a box, which would be like a normal seed bank. But I am gonna keep it like this until the spring, and then we can take all of the baggies off of this and harvest these seeds in the springtime in our yard. So I'm really excited about this project. I'm really happy to see us following through with it. Okay, so I want to hit morning basket plans. Okay, we are starting a new picture study from Simply Charlotte Mason. I have decided to go with the artist, forgive me if I butcher this, Hokusai. He is a Japanese artist who lived between 1760 and 1849. This is definitely a different kind of art than we are used to studying, and I did this intentionally. We were going to do Michelangelo and Dürer for the rest of the year after doing our Da Vinci. But my kids expressed to me that trying to replicate the Renaissance artists is definitely tough. And so I wanted to give them a break from that and try something that's a little bit different and a little bit more like landscape and some just, I don't know, simpler forms to replicate. So we are going to do Hokusai for term 2. We have been doing paper sloyd for our handicrafts, and that has been going great. We are actually going to finish the first year of projects. I think right around winter break is when we're going to finish up that program. And then I have this handcrafts book from Wild and Free that has some really great ideas in it. But I do know we're going to do paper making, and I'm excited about that one. I got the trays that you need to do that, but that will only take maybe a couple of days. Oh, here it is, homemade paper. And so from there, I will just maybe choose like 2 other projects out of here to fill up our term 2 of handiwork, but it's still somewhat undecided. Excited to make paper though. I think the kids will really like that. A book that I am going to throw into our morning basket is this one, My Mixed Emotions. I've just been throwing in some random, you know, little reference books into our morning basket. And I'll tell you guys what I've included in term 1 when I do that update. But this one looks cool. I'll let you know how we like this book. We are going to do Black History Month again with Beautiful Feet books. I did this collection of books last year, and my daughter loved these books. So I figure why not have them? She really liked them. So for the month of February, we're going to read through this collection of books once again. This was a really thoughtful collection. We are bringing back Woven Melodies. I thought that we would finish this up in term 1, but we just had too many other things going on in our morning basket this year. So I'm excited to finish this up. We're halfway through. This is a multicultural music study from Thistles and Biscuits. And it is a very multicultural. It's so cool. It's like, you may study a basic instrument like the piano or the flute, but what's really cool about it is that you're studying all of these different versions of these instruments from all over the world. So it's really, really neat. Something special that we're doing in our morning basket for December is the book seeds issue from Blossom and Root of my son's favorite book, The Mitten. So we will read this book in December and then do some of the STEM activities that go with it from Blossom and Root. So it's typically like lots of really age-appropriate little crafts, recipes. There's a lot of nature study in this. There's like STEM projects. There's like a little reading comprehension project. All sorts of stuff. We really love book seeds, and I haven't done an issue yet this year, so I'm looking forward to doing this one with my son. Okay, so that's morning basket for term 2. And then there will be things from term 1 that we will be continuing in our morning basket through term 2. But again, I'll hit those when I give you guys that term 1 update. For language arts for my daughter, not a lot is changing at all. We have had a really solid system using the Charlotte Mason method of daily copy work, narration, weekly dictation, daily spelling, poetry recitation. We're doing our own kind of grammar thing. None of that stuff is changing. The read-alouds, of course, will be changing. And so I want to share with you guys the books that we're going to be reading. So for the month of November, this is from our Blossom and Root Language Arts, The Mighty Miss Malone. And these envelopes that are in the books are a part of a really neat book report project that we have been doing since the beginning of the year that I'll talk more about in my term 1 update. So that's November. December, we are reading Little Women. Very excited about this. I also have the Hearth Magic guide to accompany this, but you guys, I looked through it and it's a lot of stuff I just don't think that we're gonna get to. I do think I'm gonna pull in the vocabulary and copy work from that guide for Little Women and maybe a recipe or two, but I think that's actually it. And we're just gonna enjoy reading the book. And then we'll do our book report project with it. And then for January, we are reading Tales from the Odyssey, Mary Pope Osborne, Part 1. And then February, we're reading Part 2. We will also be continuing reading the Nesbit stories of Shakespeare. And we've been loving Shakespeare so much this year. That's really come as a surprise to me. And so we're going to continue. I'm not sure which stories we're reading next term, but Shakespeare will definitely be continuing. So for my son's language arts, we are just now starting out a new reading program. We're kind of doing a few different things in tandem. There are elements of Blossom and Root Level 0 that I am using with him. We're also using Delightful Reading Level 2 just for extra phonics practice. I have Explode the Code for him that we pull in. I use the Montessori Pink series that I really like. So we have just a lot of resources. I like to change it up for him so it doesn't get too mundane. But this is a program that we just started last week. This is From a Gentle Feast, 100 Gentle Lessons in Sight and Sound. He is at the point with reading where he can really start to be challenged a bit more now. Learning to read for him is going really well. And so I figured he's ready for this. This is a very pure Charlotte Mason reading approach. And if you're curious about what this is like, I have a very recent video where I did a flip through of it. So you can check it out there. I can link it in the description. And then the only other thing for his language arts I wanted to share for term 2 are the read-alouds that we'll be doing. So I think these pretty much go in order, but over the next 13 weeks, we will be reading several stories from Frog and Toad. Some of these are from Blossom and Root Level 0, and some of them I picked out myself. Okay. We are attempting Winnie the Pooh. This is a cute little, it doesn't have a jacket on it. But I haven't done Winnie the Pooh with him before, so we'll see how that goes. We are reading Winter is Coming. Trouble with Trolls by Jan Brett. The Snowy Day. Bread and Jam for Francis. Jabari Jumps. And The Velveteen Rabbit. Okay, and then I did write down a few things that I don't have in front of me that I wanted to share that we are going to be doing for term 2. So our homeschool languages, Spanish level 1, has not been wildly successful. My kids have retained very little Spanish since beginning it at the start of the year. And I don't know if it's the program or what, but I ordered Teaching Spanish with Miss Mason, which is a Charlotte Mason Spanish book, and that's on its way. So we are going to attempt doing it with that book. If that doesn't go well, or if I find that that's not something that I can like realistically use every day, we are gonna start homeschool languages over from the beginning. I told the kids that that's kind of what needs to happen, just because there's been so little Spanish that's been retained. So that's like our term 2 Spanish plan. Our term 2 service project this year is going to be making Christmas cards for the paramedics in our town. I was thinking about doing it for the firefighters, but I heard that the firefighters in our small town get so much attention. Like they get so much free food from all of like the old ladies that live here. and they get a lot of love. You know, it's the fire department, but the paramedics actually don't get nearly as much attention. So I thought it would be cool to make Christmas cards from our family to the paramedics this year instead. Another thing that I'm bringing in is a root observation experiment. I didn't grab it, but I have this really cool test tube display where we're going to examine the root growth of various seeds as we study botany with the good and the beautiful. And then the last thing I didn't mention is, so for term 1, we've been doing all of my daughter's copy work, spelling, dictation from Robert Louis Stevenson's A Child's Garden of Verses. And that's been going really well. But I think with term 2, I'd like to change up the reading material for those daily lessons. And the Alviary has a book that they recommend as like a community read aloud for their grade 3 language arts, which is, I think it's called A Wonder Book for Girls and Boys. I'll post a picture here of it because I don't have it yet. But I'm anxious to receive that book because I want to flip through and see if that might be a good spine to use for all of her copy work and dictation and all of that. That, you know, a lot of that stuff we do daily, and so I want to make sure that the reading material is really engaging, very living, and very beautiful. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you were able to stick with me on this video. I definitely need to stop talking now and lay down. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.